Last week I signed the lease on my new apartment in Oregon with my girlfriend, but before we moved into the apartment, it stayed vacant for nearly a decade. We heard stories of this apartment and the reason why it was 30% cheaper than the rest in the area. We were out-of-state college students, so we didn't have much money, but it is said a man in his mid-40s started to have a mental breakdown after losing his job and finding out his wife had an affair on him. His neighbors remember seeing him that day talking to no one. He was walking in and out of the apartment in a frustrated manner. It seemed as he was hesitating to do something. No one had thought much of it, as he was always a strange individual. Later that night, he would go to kill his wife, 4-year-old daughter, and his 3-year-old son. When police finally arrived, they found Rick in one of the rooms with a gun to his head. When officers stepped into the room, Rick pulled the trigger. He was always a huge cowboy fan. He had a lot of movies of cowboys. I would dress like one all the time. Neighbors always told us to get out, as they would swear they still see the family still having their last dinner, and it is said Rick is often seen pacing back and forth, like he's protecting his apartment. Even an elderly lady would always pass by praying while she passed our doorway. Those stories always got the chills out of me, but I tried to avoid talking about them around my girlfriend, as she hated the paranormal. Our first night in our new apartment was quiet. We didn't do much, as we were unpacking and getting ready to go to sleep. The following day was when it all started. I was inside the room working on a project when I heard something that caught my attention in a mad voice. "You don't belong here. Get out." I followed the voice to the kitchen, thinking it was someone messing around with me, but no one was around. After taking one last look around, I came to the conclusion it might have been my mind playing tricks on me, as I had only slept for 3 hours last night. When I turned to enter the room I was in, I saw in the corner of my eye a dark shadow figure in the other room across the one I was in. It was hard to tell because the lights were off, but you were able to see their outline. It was a man. He had a cowboy hat on, and he was just looking straight at me. It made me freeze, and my heart started beating as fast as possible. Then he said, "Get out, you do not belong here," in a demonic voice. I quickly ran out the door. I didn't grab anything. I didn't even look back. I waited outside until my girlfriend got home, but I didn't tell her what had happened, as we were locked into our contract for 1 year. When we went back inside, I made sure to do a quick look before fully going inside. 2 days went by, and I didn't see or hear anything until I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth. I was looking in the mirror when I heard scratching against the wall, so I quickly turned around. On the ground by the tub was a little boy, sitting down with his feet tucked in. He kept repeating the same words in a very low whisper. "Get out, get out, get out, or you're going to join us." I knew who it was, and I wasn't sticking around to find out what he wanted. Just like his dad, he was a shadow figure, no face, no eyes, no nothing. This time I did tell my girlfriend, and I got the answer I knew I was going to get. She told me to stop playing jokes and to go to bed. As much as I tried to explain and tried to get out of there, it wasn't happening. I decided to stay awake all night with every door to the room locked and closed, and just wait for whatever was coming. I must have entered the half awake and half asleep stage because I heard the light giggle of a little girl, followed by the closet door creaking open. I must have been more asleep than awake, because I woke up to a doll coming out of the closet, being held by someone. The doll itself was oddly shaped. It was hard to make out its appearance of it. All that I was able to see was a shadow and an outline of it. Next came the figure holding the doll. It was a little girl with the scariest grin to her. She slowly got closer and closer to the edge of the bed. When she stood there staring at me, she said, "I'm really going to enjoy what happens to you." That woke up my girlfriend, and I quickly grabbed her and forced her out of the apartment. We made our way outside with nothing, just our keys, our phones, and our wallets. Walking towards the exit, we had to pass the dining room, which had some lights coming out of it. which was weird as we had everything turned off. Running past it, we saw them, the family that used to live in the apartment. They were having their last dinner. The dad stood up and in an angry voice, he told us, "Get out. This is my house." We haven't been in our apartment for over a month. We're sleeping in the parking lot of our apartment complex inside my van. From time to time, I wake up with the mom of the kids just standing outside the van, looking in at us, and she just stays there, staring at us for hours. I've also had dreams of the family, and in my dreams they tell me to do horrible things. Right now I'm just completely lost.